The Law Project. Good afternoon, my name is Mr. Latham and I will be walking you through the prompt for the Law Project. This project should take about 5 weeks. Today the prompt was handed out. It says, select a law. The law may be from anywhere in the world. Discuss the pros and cons of the existing law. Form an opinion on the law and support your thesis with facts gathered from primary and secondary sources. Complete the packet and write a 5-paragraph essay that persuades the audience to agree with your evaluation of the law. Okay, that's a pretty big prompt. Let's break it into parts. Step 1. Select a law. Selecting a law sounds easy, but this is going to be difficult, and obviously it's very important because it is the first step and everything will be based on what you do next. You're open to any laws around the world, any laws that have a has pros and cons. If you select a law where you can only think of pros for that law, only reasons why that law is a good idea, this is going to be a tough project. If you select a law where you can only think of reasons why that law is not such a good idea, it's going to be a tough project. You have to be able to see both sides. Pick something that's a little contentious that people talk about and have opinions on both sides. You want to select a law that you can talk about. Select a law that has pros and cons. Really, it doesn't matter to me what law you select as long as it's appropriate for the classroom. And whatever opinion you want to have on that law, that's fine as long as you can back it up with supports. Step 2. You were given a packet, and it looks like this. This packet needs to be completed and turned in. Your first step is to complete these resource pages. Now I'm requiring at least 4 resources. Step 2 is to find 4 resources and note pros and cons. On these resource pages you have source 1, 2, 3, or 4. Tell me what it's called, tell me who wrote it, what website did you get it from, what book did you get it from, what journal did you get it from. Wherever you're getting the information, I need at least 3 facts, examples, or opinions on this page. Hopefully you can find 3 pros and 3 cons. Now students, we've been talking in class, facts are stronger than examples and opinions. Best case scenario, you've got 6 facts on this page. If you can only find a few facts, but the author gives you some examples or opinions, that's valuable too. But you should have at least 4 resources for step 2. Step 3 is to fill in the front page. Fill in the front page. Now on that last step we completed this and that's fine. This is all good to go. The front page of your packet looks like this. This is just copying the information you've already done. It's just a way to organize it. In class we have been working really hard on understanding that facts are usually a little bit more persuasive than examples or opinions. Examples and opinions are valid, but they're not quite as persuasive. And I'd like students to use this as a chance to say, hey, here's a fact, here's a fact, here's a fact. Next comes the example, then more examples. Then more examples from each of the sources that you've selected, and eventually the opinions. This front page, as long as you have it filled out, I'm not going to be a stickler about it. Some students really value this front page. Some students aren't a big fan. If you're not a big fan, as long as you fill it out, that's what I'm looking for. So step 3 was to fill out the front page by organizing your pros and cons. Step 4 is going to be the most difficult out of the lot. Step 4 is to fill in your outline. As part of the packet, you have an outline down here. You need to take a position on this law. If that position is, yay, I like the law, fine. If that position is, you don't like the law, that's fine, but you need to make an argument. Whichever way you land, I need a general support here. Your counter argument is the opposite of your thesis. So if your thesis is, I agree with whatever the law is, your counter argument better be that some people disagree with whatever the law is. And then tell me why they're wrong. We've discussed this in class, kids. Your parents, all the time, tell you reasons why you maybe don't get something you want, you can't do something that you want to do. The best reasons are the ones that sort of represent how you're feeling. You may be feeling a way that isn't appropriate, but at least your parents give you a little bit of credit for having an opinion on the matter. That's what you're doing here. You're giving your reader, who may disagree with you, credit for having an opinion. They may be wrong, but at least you're giving them credit. It's more persuasive when you talk about how the other side feels. This goes on, and again, it looks very complicated, but it's not. Once you've filled in this first box, it's all very easy from there. You take your line, follow the arrow, and you say the exact same thing. You take your line, whatever you wrote there, you follow the arrow, you say the exact same thing here. You take whatever's here and you follow the arrow, and you put it here. The supports are whatever you're getting from your resource page. That's why you did the resources. That's where your supports come. So you have a thesis and argument. You tell me why you feel that way based on facts, examples, opinions taken from the resources. Conclusions. Oftentimes students struggle with what the conclusion is. The key way to phrase that is, students, whatever you've been trying to say here, whatever you're basically saying, sum it up. What's the main point? What's the main idea? Say it in different words here. You're rehashing the thesis in different words. That's your outline. Once your outline is done, the rest of this paper, this project, should be relatively easy. Step 5 is simply taking your outline and making it into a rough draft. It should be a 5-paragraph rough draft. It's a 5-paragraph outline, so you're just transferring it to a draft. Tweak it a little bit, make it sound better. There'll be a lot of repetitiveness coming out of your outline. Take away some of the repetitiveness by changing words around. We've done quite a few of these outlines in class. This whole packet has been completed in class at least once, if not twice, so kids should be familiar with it. This particular outline style has been completed at least 3 times so far this year, so students should be familiar with every single one of these steps. They've done all of them before in class. After step 5, you're going to have to bring it to class. Students will students will edit your rough draft. We will do that at the end of week 4. So at the end of week 4, students will edit each other's drafts. Step 6, once we've edited the draft, complete your final draft. That completion of the final draft will be due on whatever day is listed here. The rubric for which it will be graded is based off of the Common Core standards. This is an attempt to have students not only do research but form an opinion, and that's how I'll be grading you. There will be a presentation for this. Step 7 is to complete a presentation in class. It's a very short thing. We're talking about 2 minutes unless the student really wants to go over. You have a 2-minute presentation on your law and your opinion of that law. I know this seems like a very large project. I have no doubt it will seem very daunting when you begin. If you follow the project step by step and you go off of what you've learned in class, you have done all of this in class multiple times, you'll see that this isn't that hard. It may seem daunting, but you can do this. If you have any questions, there's a secondary video called Frequently Asked Questions. Take a look at that and see if that will answer your questions, or answer a question you may not even know you have. If your question isn't shown on that video, shoot Mr. Latham an email, and I will be more than happy to answer that question and add that answer to the Frequently Asked Questions video. So again, one last time for review. Step 1, select a law with pros and cons. Step 2, complete at least 4 resource pages. They look like that. Or sorry, resources. At least 4 resources. That should end up being 2 pages. Step number 3, complete the front page of your packet, which looks like this. This is just reorganizing your research. Step 4, complete your outline, which looks like this. Step 5, complete your rough draft. You will edit those in class at the end of week 4. If you need to know the date on that, it will be available here. And step number 6, complete your final draft. Step number 7, present your law and your opinion of that law. If you're looking for a rubric for what I expect, this is your rubric. Thank you very much for listening. Please see the frequently asked questions video for any further questions, and or shoot Mr. Latham an email.